friends, welcome to the platform of Darshanik IAS. This is Akshay Kadam. So guys, today on this platform we are going to discuss the topic of a psychology segment of our ethics paper. So in my app classes I have already recorded 2 lectures. In first lecture I have discussed the entire syllabus of our UPSC General Studies paper 4, that is ethics, integrity and aptitude. And in second lecture and your entire ethics paper that I told you is divided into 3 parts, and these 3 parts that I told you is a philosophy, psychology and administrative ethics part. So in second lecture I have recorded all this philosophy part of the syllabus and what we are going to study in that part. So first check out those 2 lectures. Now this is the third lecture, and in this lecture we are going to go ahead and discuss and deconstruct the entire syllabus of UPSC, the psychology segment, and in classroom teaching what I am going to teach you under this segment of a psychology syllabus. Okay, so we will be discussing this psychology segment, and then there will be one more lecture, fourth lecture, in which I will be discussing with you the part of administrative ethics. And after that I will also discuss with you, okay, one small lecture in which I will discuss with you the entire strategy, how we are going to approach ethics paper, okay, and what we are going to study and what plan we are going to follow, and how we are going to upload notes, download notes and communicate or interact with each other on WhatsApp, etc. So that basic part about this course plan, one lecture I will start, and then from 5th lecture onwards, okay, or 6th lecture onwards, we will be discussing the core topics. Okay, topic by topic we will approach the entire ethics paper. Okay, so let's discuss what is there in the psychology part of UPSC syllabus. So in psychology, guys, UPSC syllabus is classified into 4-5 topics, and first important topic is value system, attitude, emotional intelligence and social influence and persuasive communication. These 4-5 topics are there. So first is your human values topic. Okay, human values, and this is the syllabus part. What I am going to teach you, I will discuss soon. So in human values they have discussed the lesson from the lives and teachings of the great leader, reformers and administrators. Now already in philosophy segment we are going to discuss large number of these great thinkers or reformers, okay, important Indian thinkers and philosophers like Gandhi, Buddha, Mahavira, Aristotle, Plato, Socrates, Bentham, Kant, Bhagavad Gita, ethics, etc. And many reformer, okay, like Rajaram Mohan Rai, Vivekanand, Swami Dayanand Saraswati, Kabir, Tulsidas, Tukaram, etc. So most of them will get covered in philosophy segment. We can't clearly separate the syllabus in watertight compartments. Obviously large part is overlapping, but in the syllabus we will focus more on this word of values. What is the technically, what means values, okay, and what is this relation with different topics, concepts, or relation with different topics, etc. So value system part we will focus more in detail. Then syllabus says the role of family, society and educational institutions in inculcating values. So what is the role of family, society, etc. This is the second part of the syllabus. Then the third topic is the attitude. Okay, and in syllabus they say content of attitude, structure of attitude and functions of attitude, and relation between attitude and thoughts, and relation between attitude and behavior. Okay, this is what UPSC has told you in syllabus to study, and what we are going to study in detail soon I will discuss that. Then they have also given topic moral and political attitudes, okay, and then social influence and persuasive communication. This is also mentioned in the syllabus, and along with that the topic of emotional intelligence. Okay, so these 4 major topics: values, attitude, emotional intelligence and social influence and persuasive communication. So just 4 topics are mentioned, but we need to study these 4 topics. We will be studying for at least 25 hours, okay, in which we will be discussing all these topics in extreme detail. Okay, and then the last topic that syllabus mentions is emotional intelligence and concept of emotional intelligence. We need to understand this concept, definition, all that part. And then utility. Okay, what is the use of emotional intelligence, application and utility of emotional intelligence in governance and administration. So what is utility, okay, in application in governance administration? That is the last part. So this is the overview of the UPSC psychology segment. and what we are going to study. So let's discuss this now, and this is what we are going to go ahead in our discussion. And so first topic, emotional intelligence, that we will begin our discussion with. Now emotional intelligence is very important topic because a lot of questions they have asked in section A, and lot of questions they have asked in where you can use this concept of emotional intelligence in case study solutions while solving case studies. So they will give you scenario ki there is a disaster or some mob or riot kind of condition, and to manage the mob, to handle the riot, handle disaster, there will be sub question in case study. Which three qualities that you have that will make you good civil servant in such a situation? So which qualities you will write? So there you can use emotional intelligence. Okay, is a very important quality in disaster management, mob management, etc. Okay, so emotional intelligence. Okay, how emotional intelligence plays role, okay, in administration governance. Obviously we need to study that in applied manner also, but first we will study emotional intelligence conceptually. And so to study emotional intelligence conceptually, we will be first try to understand concept of emotional intelligence. Okay, what emotional intelligence is all about. Okay, and what is its relation with other related concepts like social intelligence, analytical intelligence or IQ, or practical intelligence or practical street smartness. Okay, so there are different types of intelligences. Okay, and how emotional intelligence fits into those different types of intelligences, or its comparison, or how it is different from analytical intelligence, IQ, how it is different from practical intelligence or street smartness. Okay, so understanding concept of emotional intelligence, then we will discuss the definition of emotional intelligence. Okay, Peter Salovey and Mayer, they have given very awesome and nice definition of emotional intelligence. So we'll try to understand that definition, we will deconstruct the definition, we'll try to understand each and every point, and what we can learn from that definition about emotional intelligence. We'll study that. Then we'll discuss the next topic, process of emotional intelligence. So fine, this is what emotional intelligence, how and how it is different from IQ, etc. Then its definition. Then how emotional intelligence work, process. So emotional intelligence works in 4 ways. There are 4 processes, okay, that act inside you. Okay, so how when you deploy emotional intelligence in any situation, what process that you need to undergo. Okay, or people with emotional intelligence, what 4 things they do. So first what they do is emotional understanding. They understand the emotions. Then second thing they do is emotional first emotional perception. First thing, you need to perceive your own emotion, what I am feeling emotionally. Okay, then after emotional perception, next stage comes emotional understanding. You need to understand why I am feeling that. Okay, then third stage is reason with emotions. Okay, so first these emotions are I am experiencing, emotional perception. Why I am experiencing this emotion, emotional understanding. Then reason with emotion. Are these emotions good in this situation or not? Emotional reasoning. And then last, process. Okay, if these emotions are bad, then I need to manage those emotions and act on the emotion, emotional management. So these 4 processes we'll study in detail, and I will give you a lot of examples. Okay, how this process of emotional intelligence works, to emotional reasoning, perception, emotional understanding, emotional reasoning, and emotional management. Then we will discuss the components of emotional intelligence. Okay, so there are 5 components of emotional intelligence, that is empathy, social skill, self-awareness, self-regulation, and intrinsic motivation. So we'll discuss all these concepts separately. What is empathy, what is social skill, what is self-awareness, self-regulation, emotional intelligence. And then we will try to link how they play a role in emotional intelligence, and how these all components play a role even in your administration. Okay, so we'll first discuss empathy and empathy's role in emotional intelligence. Then while discussing empathy's role in emotional intelligence, okay, so we will also discuss role of empathy in administration, in governance, and how if you have empathy, how it will lead to development of emotional intelligence. That we'll also discuss. Same way, second is a social skills. Okay, samajik kaushalya, or isko what we also called in industrial settings, soft skills, people skills. So what is the role of social skills? Why you need to be socially skillful? in your verbal, non-verbal communication, while interacting with other people. You should be able to make other people feel comfortable. And this is all part of social skills. And once you have these social skills, how you will develop emotional intelligence, and why social skill plays a role, what role it plays in emotional intelligence and in administration. Because if you are a good leader, then you should be able to motivate other people to work for you. And to motivate other people work for you, then you need, okay, very high level of these social skills. Okay, you should be able to understand people's emotions, their weaknesses, strength. You should be able to speak with them, communicate with them in an empathetic manner, motivate them, okay, to do their best. So as a leader, okay, social skills are very important. So we'll discuss about social skills and its role in emotional intelligence as well as administration. Same way, okay, there are two more components: self-awareness, self-regulation. Okay, and if you are not self-aware individual, if you don't know about your own emotions, how you can manage others' emotions? So first you need to be self-aware to be emotionally intelligent. And not only self-aware, you should be able to manage your emotions, regulate your emotions. What this process is? Fourth process in emotional intelligence: emotional perception, understanding, reasoning, and emotional management. So this emotional management and self-regulation both are same. So we'll be discuss that emotional management or self-regulation part. And then last comes intrinsic motivation. So there are two types of motivation: extrinsic and intrinsic. Why you prepare for UPSC? Okay, you prepare for UPSC because you want to be IAS. Okay, you are self-motivated, intrinsic motivation. You want to prepare for UPSC because there is a power, wealth, okay, corruption से बहुत पैसा मिलेगा, या parents want you to prepare for UPSC, or there are no jobs, that's why you want to prepare for UPSC. Okay, then again it is a very problematic thing, and that's why emotional intelligence में, okay, components में one component is intrinsic motivation. You need to be intrinsically motivated person. If you don't like your job, how you will be emotionally intelligent? You act in emotionally intelligent manner and connect with the students. If you are not don't like to be a good, you don't enjoy being a teacher, then why you will go out of the way to help your students? Why you will go out of the way to connect with the student, address their problem, explain them things in a more easier way, interactive way? So to be emotionally intelligent, first you need to be intrinsically motivated. So that part is very important. So components of emotional intelligence we will discuss. Then we will discuss role of emotional intelligence in workplace and in professional success. Okay, so why emotional intelligence is important in your job, workplace, in professional success? How emotional intelligence plays a role in service industry, in consumer industry, managing your relationship, in developing networking, how it plays a role in developing good rapport in team building with your colleagues, etc. Then why people with emotional intelligence get promoted more, get hired more. Okay, so we discuss this EQ and its relevance in the workplace and professional success. Then we will discuss use of emotional intelligence in governance and administration. How emotional intelligence plays role in governance, how emotional intelligence plays role in administration. That also we will discuss. Okay, the role of emotional intelligence in governance and administration. Now, emotional intelligence is very useful in workplace, fine. But when I say workplace, I say in general. Okay, as a teacher and student, as a doctor and patients, as a manager and its employees, or as a owner of the company and entire understanding marketing, sales, etc. So in general, how emotional intelligence plays the role in workplace. But we are preparing for UPSC exam. So largely case studies or question will come from administrative perspective. So we will separately discuss 8-10 ways, okay, why emotional intelligence is useful, utility and application of emotional intelligence in, okay, your administration and governance. So what is the role of emotional intelligence in policy making, in governance, in management, in administration, etc. That we will discuss separately. Okay, so 8-10 points I will give you. Okay, what is the emotional intelligence role in army, policing, military, etc. Then we will discuss the significance of EQ versus IQ. This year UPSC asked question that you need to be not only emotionally intelligent but analytically also intelligence is required. So which is more important, IQ or EQ? Okay, are IQ EQ separate? Okay, or IQ EQ presuppose each other? And if you have IQ but not EQ, what will happen? If you have EQ not IQ, what will happen? And if you have both, what it will lead to? Okay, so both way we will try to understand relationship between emotional intelligence, emotional quotient, and intelligent quotient or IQ. And then we will go on discussing, okay, also the side that most of the teachers don't discuss in the classroom in ethics classes, that is dark side of emotional intelligence. Are there any dangers of emotional intelligence? Are there any disadvantages of emotional intelligence? The dark side, okay, disadvantages, and there are a lot of dangers, disadvantages of emotional intelligence. Some jobs in emotional intelligence plays very awesome role, very much required, but in some job, emotional intelligence can lead to disaster. Okay, in some jobs you don't need emotional intelligence, rather emotional intelligence is a liability. Okay, and that's why it's not always everything is all good about emotional intelligence. There is a dark side also, and we will discuss that also as the last topic in our discussion. So 4-5 hours we will discuss this concept of emotional intelligence in administration, governance, etc. Okay, now the next topic in emotional intelligence is the value system, human values. Okay, so in this topic of human values, okay, first we'll try to understand the concept of value system, what values are, okay, and what is its relationship between beliefs, attitude, interest, and values. Okay, how beliefs lead to creation of values. Are beliefs and values same or are they separate? Then how beliefs lead to creation of values, and what are attitudes? How values and attitude are interlinked? Are values and attitudes same or different? Okay, then what are interest? Your hobbies, interest, and values, are they same or different? So we'll try to understand the relation between value system with all these different concepts like beliefs, attitude, interest, values, etc. Then we will go on understanding the types of values. Okay, so we'll discuss different types of values. Like there are almost 13-14 values that I will discuss with you, where we will discuss the political values, economic values, scientific values, religious, cultural, social values, etc. So we will have very in-depth discussion about different types of values. Okay, then we will go on discussing the simple one debate, which I think is very, very important in your UPSC preparation. That is why we develop values, why we hold values. Okay, why values are required. Okay, why we develop them, why we hold on to them. Do they have some good outcome for us? Okay, so why we develop values, and if we develop values, where we learn values from. This is also very important topic. Okay, that we will be discussing. Okay, and that part I will come back in the end, that where we learn values from, why we develop values. Then what is yardstick to determine values? How we determine which is good value and which is bad value. Okay, well, this is very awesome debate, very nice debate. Most of the time when we debate values, okay, there are a lot of thinkers who will take this is moral, this is immoral, this is ethical, this is unethical. So how we determine what are good values and bad values today? Okay, so there is one general law about value system that I will tell you right now itself, and all your entire ethics paper discussion, you need to remember this law, this formula, this principle about values or about morality ethics. And there is this very general law, but that applies everywhere. What is good value is simply whatever you do should not be at the cost of others. Okay, whatever you do should not be at the cost of others is a good value. You drink as much you want, but don't do drink and drive and risk the life of other people. Okay, so drink and drive is a bad value. Okay, because it risks the life of people, it comes at the cost to the society. So whatever you do should not be at the cost of society is a general value or general law. Okay, and then what are today are the parameters to decide what is good and bad. In the past, religion decided that, but then should we use religion still to determine, okay, what is good and bad values? So yardstick to determine values. This is very important debate, because Jallikattu is a part of religion, tradition, culture. So should Jallikattu be allowed? Then your Sabrimala temple entry, hijab ban, all these values came from the religion, society, culture. So should we define what is right and wrong as per those values? Or have we developed some other yardstick to decide what is right and wrong? So we will have this debate, what is the yardstick to determine values? Then we will go ahead in discussing role of family, society, education institution in inculcating values. Where we learn these values from, where we develop values from. Now I told you that syllabus has mentioned only 3 agents: family, society, educational institutions. Okay, but when we will discuss, okay, I will discuss with you more than 24 ways, okay, by which we develop or inculcate values. Okay, so there are almost 24 ways, okay, we develop the values. And these multiple ways from which we develop ethics, we develop morality, we develop values, that I am going to discuss with you in the class, is that biology, family, your then educational institute, peer groups, media, print, electronic, social media, then your individual psychological factor, that emotional intelligence, attitude, stereotypes, values, occidental, oriental values, then by reading philosophical books, etc., then through technology or through society, culture, religion. All these are the socializing agents from whom, okay, we acquire values, we develop values. Okay, so whatever question we will discuss in ethics, whatever things you are studying in ethics, where you learn ethics from, where you learn values from, where you learn morality from, where you learn virtues from, where you learn emotional intelligence from, where you learn stereotypes from, where you learn prejudices from, okay, everything, okay, we learn from the impact of these socializing agents. And these are not the only socializing agents, there are many other also. That is your constitution, okay, then your legal factors, laws, administrative factors, okay, then your political factors, environmental factors, then there are geographical factors, even they determine our values, then our agriculture factors, organizational factors, corporate governance, business ethics, or industry, organization that you work for, they also determine our values. And then historical perspective, history also determine values. And then international factors, globalization, etc., or economy, survey, budget. Okay, even economic background, economic surrounding also determine large number of values. Okay, so here I am going to discuss with you these 24 factors from where you learn these values from, you develop this morality, ethics, emotional intelligence from socializing agents, and how they play a role. We will have a lot of open-ended debate, okay, where you will understand automatically role of these different socializing agents in determining value system. Okay, so this will be the basic topic that UPSC mentions in syllabus, role of family, society, educational institution. UPSC has mentioned only 3, but we are going to discuss very different. And I already told you, you write other dimensions, other ways that I will discuss with you in the class, in your answers. Don't write family, society, or educational institutes, their role, okay, because there are many other factors which are very, very important, like social media, technology, constitution, and they play, or globalization, they play very, very important role in your value formation, value development. And that's why you need to focus more, okay, in your answer on those aspects, okay, family, instead of these factors that are mentioned in the syllabus. Because there is a simple rule in ethics or in any competitive exam: write more than others, write different than others. Okay, so you need to write different than others, then don't write what is mentioned in syllabus, write factors beyond that, those other of your competitors will not write. Then next debate we will have is, are our values deteriorating with time? Okay, in generally when we discuss about values, okay, if there is, whenever we start a television and there is a news about some rape, crime, corruption, our uncles in the family start debating, no, morality खराब हो रही है लोगों की, value system खराब हो रही है. Okay, so are our values deteriorating with the time? Is it our older generation, past generation had better values than us? Are our values deteriorating with time, or are our values better than our ancestors? Generally, we have a belief that our ancestors were very ethical, moral, good people. If this is the case, then whom Buddha was teaching the ethics? Whom Mahavira was teaching the ethics? Why Ramayana was written? Why Mahabharata was written? Why these religious books were written? And why these religious books were telling the message to live this life, live in this manner? Okay, अगर हर कोई सोसाइटी में बहुत कुछ अच्छा था, ethical, moral, then ये लोग किसको उपदेश दे रहे थे? Okay, तो ऐसा नहीं है that in ancient time values were much better and today's our values are deteriorating with globalization, liberalization, etc. No, our values are different, okay, but not deteriorating. They are different than our ancestors. So this debate will discuss whether our values are deteriorating with the time. Okay. Then one very, very important debate, okay, very useful debate that we'll have in our discussion is the problem of fixing values and lack of focus on institutional development in India. Now I told you, whenever you start a TV, then uncle log will start debating, discussing that our values are deteriorating with the time. Then you ask them what the solution, and the solution they will give you, value system development. Okay. Now in this point, I am going to teach you that ये जो value system का topic है and value development and in general पूरा जो ethics का paper है, ethics development, moral development, ये जो philosophy segment बात कर रहा है, psychology segment बात कर रहा है, is a useless way to address any problem. Okay. क्योंकि अगर हम इथिक्स डेवलप करने की बात करें, मोरालिटी डेवलप करके, वर्च्यूज डेवलप करके, वैल्यूज डेवलप करके, इफ यू ट्राई टू करेक्ट थिंग्स इन द सोसाइटी, it is very idealistic. It's impossible to do. It is impossible to expect every person on the street will be Buddha and Mahavira and there will be everything good in the society. No, not possible. There will always be people with the immorality, with bad values. Okay. And that's why expecting everyone will be Gandhi and Buddha and Mahavira and Ambedkar, not possible. There will always be bad people in the society. Okay. And if you want to solve all problems like corruption, etc., from administration, governance, okay, and for that, if you need good people in as a sarpanch, etc., then we will need 7 lakh Anna Hazares in 7 lakh Gram Panchayat of India. Okay, that is next to impossible. And ये 7 लाख अन्ना हजारे मरने के बाद we will need 7 lakh more अन्ना हजारेस, which is again next to impossible. And that's why, okay, we need, okay, to focus more, okay, on not value development, virtue development, but there are other ways with which we can also address the problem, that is institutional development. Okay, we need to focus on developing institutions instead of Anna Hazare like Sarpanch. If we have very strong laws like RTI, whistleblower, Lokpal, Lokayukta, that is also a way we can deal with the problems. Okay, even if people in society don't respect women, fine, but ensure such a good policing, okay, that even people with the bad values will not be able to attack, rape, molest women. जो भी करे उठा के जेल में डाल दो, punish them, have CCTV cameras everywhere, proactive policing everywhere. Okay, that even if someone wants to do the crime, he won't be able to do the crime. Develop institutions. So this is also very important debate that we'll have in our class. Okay, and then Indian Oriental versus Western values. ये एक debate that we'll discuss in our class. Okay, that we are experiencing globalization, very strong force. This globalization is. Our cities are already globalized in some areas in Pune where I live or nearby areas. Okay, it's as good as you will feel you are in somewhere America, Europe. So largely our cities are globalized, Lokhandwala, Juhu, Bandra or Koregaon Park in Pune, etc. And later on, okay, what do you call this villages, even they are being globalized today. Now people in villages are on Insta, YouTube, etc., on social media. And so, okay, globalization is touching every aspect of our life. Okay, we are economically globalized, we are politically globalized. Okay, in fashion industry sense, we are globalized. But at the same time, globalization is also happening in ethics, morality and values. Okay, many Western values are coming and influencing us. Okay, individualism, liberty, freedom, fundamental rights, all these ideas very strongly enforced by the globalization. So ये जो globalization है is a very strong force, and because of these new values that globalization is bringing to India, okay, there is a conflict between Indian and Western values. Don't celebrate Valentine, it's a foreign culture. Okay, don't celebrate these rose days and etc., it's a foreign culture. Don't celebrate Friendship Day, celebrate Krishna Sudama Maitri Divas. All these conflicts that are going on. Okay, Jallikattu is our tradition, PETA is a foreign organization. They are forcing foreign values in India. So all this debate are nothing but reflection of this conflict between Indian and Western values, Oriental and Occidental values. Okay, and that's why we will understand, okay, this conflict and how these values are conflicting, okay, and how we need to resolve this conflict that is happening. So under this topic of value system, this is all that we are going to study in detail when we'll discuss the human value system part. Next topic in our syllabus is attitude. So in this part of attitude, what we are going to study in the class that we'll discuss. So in attitude, first we'll try to discuss the concept of attitude, okay, and its relation with other ideas like beliefs, values, etc. So what are attitudes? Basic definition, okay, and definition, and then we'll discuss the content of attitude. What attitude is made up of, okay, our attitude exists all together, different attitudes can coexist together, or in attitude is there any consistency, okay. So this kind of basic concept regarding attitude, its definition and content we will discuss. Then we'll discuss the structure of attitude, okay. What is attitude, structure of attitude, which components are there in attitude, whether these components are positive, negative, and in this structure of attitudes we'll discuss the concept of ABC model of attitude. This is very important topic, ABC model of attitude. That is, attitude is made up of three components: affection, behavior, and cognitions. And this ABC model of attitude, affection, behavior, cognition, okay, affection means emotions, behavior and cognitions, all three need to exist, okay, to form an attitude. If only one component is there, then it's simply emotion, affection is there, or it will be simply behavior, okay, behavioral tendency, or simply cognition, beliefs, ideas, opinion. But when your ideas, opinion, beliefs, cognitions get touch of emotions, and they push you, motivate you into action, then you have three components, and then attitude gets formed. So this ABC model of attitude is very important. And when I will discuss with you ABC model of attitude, I will discuss that attitude can get created from any component. They can form from attitude, emotions, okay. They can start with emotion and lead to formation of attitude. They can start with behavior and attitude can form, or attitude can form with the cognitions. They can start anywhere from affection, behavior or cognition, but all three should develop to create an attitude. So A, B, C, all three components together, okay. Then there is after ABC model of attitude, next is a functional theory of attitude, functions of attitude, okay. So in functional theory of attitude or functions of attitude, और ये जो ABC model will study, I will give you a lot of examples, okay, how this attitude formation or any attitude that you have, how these three components are there, how they play a role with each other. And we'll also discuss this consistency part, that if you have two components A, B, C, the three components are there, an attitude also contain, okay, not only these components A, B, C, but it also contains valency. These three components could be positive or these components could be negative. And along with valency, it also contains your intensity. These three components are positive, then how much positive? Negative, then how much negative? और इसी को हम बोलते हैं, okay, basically content of attitude. How attitude is, what it is made up of. So we'll also discuss that all these three components either are positive or negative. What happens if two components are positive and one is negative? It is called attitude inconsistency. Okay, inconsistency in attitude components. And if this inconsistency happens, what to do with that or how we resolve that inconsistency? Okay, there we have one important theory of cognitive dissonance that we'll discuss in the class. Then we'll discuss, okay, now we have understood what is attitude, structure of attitude. Then we'll discuss why we hold attitude. What is the function of attitude? What role they play in our life? Okay. So same way, like in emotional intelligence, we will discuss process of emotional intelligence, emotional perception, understanding, reasoning, management. Then we will discuss components of emotional intelligence. Okay, that is empathy, social skills, self-awareness, self-regulation, and intrinsic motivation. And then we'll discuss why we develop emotional intelligence, what role it plays in our life. So same way, we'll discuss what is attitude, definition, process of attitude, then its components, ABC model. Then we'll discuss functions, why we hold attitude. Okay, so why we hold attitudes, functions or theory of attitude, formations. Okay, so here, so functional theory of attitude, that is why we hold attitude. So one psychology Katz, okay, he discussed this functional theory of attitude. And here in his theory, he explained 4 core functions of attitudes. That is knowledge function, self-expressive function, okay, then utility function and ego defensive function. These are the 4 functions for which we develop the attitude. Now see, I told you, if UPSC asks you a question, you need to have very good conceptual understanding. So you need to have very good conceptual understanding of ethics paper as well as applied understanding. And while you present this data, you need to present, it's a competitive exam, you need to write more than others, write to the point everything, and write different than others. And all these things you need to plan and work out. So if question comes on why we hold attitude, okay, don't write in general, attitude help me respond to the world, attitude help me deal with the situation, etc. Don't write your naive psychology, because this attitude is very well researched subject in psychology, and in the psychology this is so much well researched subject, okay, that this subject you have very core theories, and these core theories you need to know, understand, and write those, reproduce those in your answer. So if they ask you why we hold attitude, what function it serves, okay, then you need to write CATS theory, functional theory of attitudes, and in which you have to write these four factors, four reasons that we hold attitude for, that is utility function, knowledge function, self-expressive function, and ego defensive functions. Okay, then next part is characteristics of attitudes. Okay, now in next theory is characteristics of attitude. Now in characteristic of attitude means in attitude, are attitudes simple or complex? Are they positive or negative? The valency. What is the intensity with which attitude exists, etc. So these are all called components or characteristics of attitude. So we'll discuss some characteristics and features of attitudes. Now after discussing all this in our lectures about attitudes, we will go ahead to discuss, okay, relation between attitudes, okay, and attitudes influence, okay, with our thought and behavior. How attitude is linked with our thoughts, how attitude influences our behavior. So we'll discuss that, influence of attitude with thought and behavior. And then we'll discuss, okay, relation between attitude and behavior, thought and behavior. Does holding attitude lead to behavior, or there is a gap between attitude and behavior? And if there is a gap between attitude and behavior, what determines this gap? Can we reduce this gap in attitude and behavior, and whether we can bring every attitude into behavior? That we have to debate. And this is very significant, important debate, because there is a huge gap exists between attitude and behavior. Though attitude contains three components, affection, behavior, and cognition, this behavior component is not actual behavior. This behavioral component is just a tendency. Okay, it is just a behavioral tendency. It may not reflect into your action, and that's why attitude and behavior, there is a gap. Most of you, if I ask you, if we are in the offline class, and if I ask students, if I ask you, do you like corruption? Most of you will say, no sir, we don't like corruption. I ask, do you like unclean public places? Okay, कोई है जिसको गंद पसंद है, किसी को गंदगी पसंद नहीं. Everyone want clean surrounding. So everyone wants clean surrounding. Then why we make so much of dirt on the road? Why you spit on the road? Okay, no one wants corruption. Then why we pay the bribe? So why there is a gap exists between attitude and behavior, and that we need to understand. And under that there are many factors, okay, that influence this gap between attitude and behavior. And if you want to bring attitude, okay, into behavior, then we need to work on those factors. So 4-5 factors are there, we will discuss. And in that there is one core important theory of reasoned action, okay, that we will discuss then after discussing all this, then most important part, okay, of our discussion will be theories of attitude formation and change. Okay, so how we learn attitude from where we learn attitudes from? I gave you the chart, I shown you chart a few minutes back. I gave you different socializing agents, 24 socializing agents I gave you. Now these socializing agents, okay, influence your attitude, shape your attitudes. But for attitude formation, and if there are bad attitudes develop in society, to change those attitudes, make them positive, okay, there are multiple theories of attitude formation and attitude change. And there are almost 13 theories of attitude formation and change that we will discuss in the class. So attitude formation through socializing agents, attitude formation through conditioning like operant conditioning, classical conditioning, instrumental conditioning, and attitude formation through role modeling, attitude formation through self-perception, attitude formation through persuasive communication, attitude formation through cognitive dissonance or attitude change through cognitive dissonance, okay, attitude formation through frame of reference, attitude formation through social media, okay, mere exposure effect. So there are very well researched core theories in psychology that we will discuss in our classroom regarding theories of attitude formation and change. Okay, so which is very important part, and you need to understand this part very well, because in most of the case studies, okay, they will tell you, okay, this attitude formation part will be involved, and you need to use this theory, okay, to change those attitudes. So they will ask you how you can ensure that people of India do less carbon pollution. Then you need to use all these theories of attitude formation and change, okay, to deal or reduce the carbon pollution. Then if you want, जो दिल्ली में भी formula है, odd even formula, how you can make odd even formula more successful, okay, how you can change people's attitude. So उसमें भी you need to understand, okay, why people are behaving in this manner, what are the attitudes they are holding, and how you can change those attitudes. So where this understanding of these 13 theories will be very useful for you. And then we will discuss, okay, types of attitude, that is moral and political attitude. This moral and political attitude they have mentioned in the syllabus, but I will discuss with you more than that, 12-13 attitudes we will discuss in the class. Economic attitude, political attitude, social attitude, religious attitude, scientific attitudes, like that, and not just moral and political attitudes. Obviously we will discuss moral and political attitudes, okay, but we will discuss much more attitudes than that in our classes. So this is about attitude theory. Now there is one part of the syllabus which is not mentioned in our syllabus, okay, but we need to study. It is very important part, that is stereotype and prejudices. So this part, stereotype and prejudice, which is very important in our for our classes. So this stereotype and prejudice part. So we have attitude ka topic, and stereotype prejudice is a part of an attitude system. So I told you we have attitudes. Attitudes could be positive, attitudes could be negative, and we hold attitude towards objects. So we hold attitude towards animals, plants, colors, towards a teacher, okay, towards movies, music, all attitudes we hold. So obviously then we also develop attitude towards society, some culture, religion, group of people. Now if you like some group of people, that I like American people, I like Bollywood stars, then there is no problem. But if I have negative attitude towards any social group, that is, I hate people of that caste, I hate people of that religion, I hate people of that nation. If we have negative attitude towards any particular caste, class, sex, religion, etc., okay, then these attitudes are called prejudices. So prejudice is a part of a attitude chapter itself, and every attitude had three components: affection, behavior, cognition. Then prejudice is also attitude, negative attitude. Then it also have three negative components: affection, behavior, cognition. And this cognition, negative cognitions, is nothing but stereotype. Okay, so we will discuss this topic, okay, of stereotype, prejudice in detail in our class, because once they have asked case study on Dalit cook, that Dalit cook has been appointed in the class, and many higher class students stop sending, higher class people stop sending their kids to the school. Now how you will deal with this issue? So this Dalit cook appointment shows the casteism prevalent in Indian society. So how you will deal with this casteism issue, that you need to address or answer. And there, okay, that's why we need to study this topic, where we will understand, try to understand concept of stereotype and prejudice. What is the relation between stereotype and prejudices? That we will discuss in detail. Then we will discuss social conflict and social integration concept. How these stereotype prejudices produce social conflict, and how we need to resolve them to create social integration. How we can integrate society where stereotypes are not there, prejudices are not there. Then we'll also discuss factor responsible for formation of these attitudes, that is stereotypes, prejudices, from where we learn stereotypes from, where we learn prejudices from. And there also I will give you very core, okay, theories of stereotype formation, prejudice formation, okay, where we will discuss Tashfel's theory of identity formation, some personality factor like narcissistic personality, rigid, inflexible personality people are more prone to prejudice formation. Then we'll discuss the theories of zero-sum game, how it produces prejudices. We'll discuss political factor, economic factor. We will discuss then Sheriff's Robert Cave experiment, where he discussed how competition prejudices. So we will discuss, okay, 8-10 theories of stereotype and prejudice formation. Okay, and then obviously, okay, once we discuss these theories, then next we need to use understanding of these theories to change our prejudices, change our stereotypes, and then we will discuss ways to handle and change these stereotypes and prejudices. So I will give you 10-12 different theories, okay, of this stereotype change, prejudice change. Okay, so we'll discuss this separately, ways to handle and change stereotypes and prejudices. So that also we will cover in depth this part. And then we'll also discuss the prevalent stereotype and prejudices in Indian society. There are many different prejudices prevalent, like Hindu, Muslim, this casteism, linguistic prejudices, regional prejudices, chauvinism, etc. So we'll discuss these different prejudices prevalent in Indian society and how these prejudices manifest in the society, expression of these prejudices. Okay, so there I will tell you different type of isms, casteism, classism, ageism, all these isms, okay, sexism, etc. are the expression of prejudices. And same way, okay, you have this different ways also of prejudice expression in society, that is avoidance, okay, making jokes, just what is called anti-locution, making jokes, this Santa Manta jokes is anti-locution, avoidance, okay, discrimination, and even extreme form, ethnic cleansing, that Hitler did of Jews people. Okay, so these are different prevalent stereotypes and prejudices in Indian society, and its expression that we will discuss. And then the last topic that your attitude chapter, attitude syllabus has, is the social influence and persuasion. Okay, theories of social influence and persuasive communication. That part is also separately mentioned and very, very important part of our syllabus. So in this part, we will try to discuss first concept of social influence, factors influencing, causing social influence, okay, factor responsible for social influence. Okay, so how social influence becomes successful. So social influence, government is planning some policy, whether people will listen to the policy, listen to the law, obey the law. Now government has started in Delhi odd even formula. Will odd even formula work? How we can influence people to follow this odd even formula? And that is with social influence. And how you can do that? Then persuasive communication is one way to do this social influence. Then we'll discuss this theory of social influence as well as persuasive communication in our syllabus. Now, so in social influence, okay, factors responsible, that we'll discuss. Then we'll discuss what is persuasive communication. Okay, I'm teaching you online. So this is the online mode of communication. In offline, I teach face to face. These are the different mechanisms of communication. Now in this communication, how I can ensure that communication happens effectively. Okay, and that's why there we need to study this persuasive communication. Then we'll discuss one subpart of this topic, that is components of persuasive communication. Now this part is also very important, components of persuasive communication. So UPSC has asked many times question on this part, what are the components of persuasive communication? So there are 5 components of persuasive communication. Now when I am communicating with you, what are the components that are involved in this process? Pehla is source. Who am I? Am I credible? Do I have knowledge of philosophy? Source. Then receiver, you people. Okay. What is your IQ level? What is your time, energy, motivation level? Are you ready to listen to me? Okay. You are not listening to me freely on YouTube. You are listening to me on my Google apps. Okay. And so you are paid for this course. So obviously you have more motivation to listen to me. So I am a source, one component. You are receiver, other component. Then medium. What medium we are using for communication? Online. So every medium has different advantages, disadvantages that we have to see. Face-to-face communication, online communication, all this different ways of communication. So medium. Then context. Okay, when you are listening to me, the context. Okay, you are very tired, okay, worked hard whole day. If you are doing job, you work, you had a very hectic day and you are listening to this lecture, you won't be able to effectively digest it. Okay, so context is also one part of communication. So source, receiver, medium, okay, or channel of communication or medium, context, etc. Okay, these are the different components of communication, and these components we'll study in detail in this part. Then, okay, persuasive communication is one way of causing social influence. Persuasive communication is sub-theory of social influence. Social influence are of different types also, and we will discuss those also. So we'll discuss the type of social influence, that is social facilitation and social inhibition. Okay, most of the time, because of the influence of other people, social influence, our behavior, okay, gets facilitated, or our behavior will get suppressed. For example, there is a India-Pakistan cricket match is going on, but due to COVID, okay, there are no audiences. All stadium is empty. So that's your social. This Virat Kohli or Rohit Sharma won't be able to play with that much motivation and energy if no one is there to watch them, cheer them, support them. So it will lead to, if people are present, okay, very charged, emotionally charged atmosphere, people will actually perform better, okay, in social facilitation. But suppose there is a show or some chess match is going on, and there is a lot of noise, people are shouting, etc., then automatically, okay, in chess match, the performer won't be able to concentrate, and his behavior, okay, due to social influence, his output, productivity will get reduced. That is social inhibition. So how social influence causes this, that we'll discuss. One way of social influence, two ways of social influence: either they facilitate our productivity or they reduce, inhibit our productivity. Then we'll discuss a few other types of social influence, that is coaction effect, audience effect. Most of the time, if we are performing some action, then our productivity changes, either improves if other people are competing with us. If you joined a gym alone, and if you joined a gym along with your partner, if you are alone, you might not be regular. But if you are joined with partner, sometimes partner don't want to come, but you take partner along. Sometimes you don't want to go, but partner takes you along, and you go more regularly to the gym if you have partner competing or practicing with you. So automatically, okay, your behavior, okay, improves, coaction and audience effect. Then along with that, social influence have also some different theories, and you will enjoy this part most because there are a lot of awesome experiments, videos that I will show you, play for you in the class, and you will enjoy those, watching those videos, understanding this concept at a very awesome level. So in social influence, there are also theories of conformity, compliance to social rules. Most of the time we just obey or conform or comply to the social rules. And there is also one theory, obedience to authority. So all this conformity, compliance, obedience, these are the types of social influences. These are very technical parts, so I will not be explaining you now. But in class, we will discuss all these effects. What is coaction effect? What is audience effect? What is conformity? What is compliance? What is obedience to authority? Okay, we'll have very in-depth understanding, and there I will show you all these recordings, lectures and videos. So you will have very good grasp of this concept. Then we will, in social influence is not only happening with one individual, you as alone. Social influence also involve group processes, mob psychology. You as an individual is different than a mob when you are in group, in a stadium, in a theaters. So mob mentality is different than individual mentality. Okay, and that's why in social influence we have to understand group psychology also and mob behavior. Why people go to an extent where they murder someone in mob lynching. Okay, akele mein you will not slap someone. Okay, or these people will not slap someone if they are alone, but in group they go on murdering, rioting, raping, or to an extreme level. So why people think in such an extreme manner? What is the exactly going on in their mind? This we will discuss in a social influence of a group psychology or group social influence. Okay, along with that, most of the time, okay, If you are alone going on a road and you saw injured person, rather you will stop and help the injured person. But okay, if there are many people and all they are standing and watching, okay, and no one is helping, then you will also not help. Why these things happen? And for that, we need to understand these theories of social influence, group social influence. And here I will discuss with you 4-5 sub theories, that is bystander effect, and under which there are two parts: diffusion of responsibility and distribution of responsibility. So under group social influence, we will discuss bystander effect, group think, group polarization, okay, these theories, and de-individuation. So de-individuation, bystander effect, group think, group polarization, and under bystander effect, diffusion of responsibility, distribution of responsibility. These are quite critical or technical concepts. So I'm just giving you overview of that, what we are going to study. There, I will explain all these ideas, concepts with extreme detail, okay, with lot of conceptual understanding and with lot of examples and videos, etc. So you will get very good grasp of all this. Now, same way in group psychology, majority group influences minority. But can reverse happen? Can minority influence the opinion of majority? There were hardly 1,000, 2,000 scientists and enlightened thinkers, but they changed the ideas of crores of European people. Okay, so can minority change majority? In India, we have Rajara Mohan Rai, Mahatma Phule, Savitribai Phule, Periyar, Ambedkar. Very few reformers were there, but these reformers changed, okay, crores of orthodox Indian people. Okay, so why these things, whether minority can influence majority, and if so, how minority can influence the majority? Okay, that's why we will discuss, okay, theories of minority influence also. Now I told you this part theoretically we have to study, but its applied understanding is also important, because most of this understanding we have learned, acquired here, you have to use it even in your essay, ethics paper, everywhere, but also in case study, answer writing. Now, for example, once they asked a case study where two UPSC aspirants are talking with each other, and he asked, what is wrong with corruption if so many people are doing corruption, etc. What is the use if minority tries to be ethical when majority population is unethical, doing corruption, etc. Okay, then what's the use of minority involving corruption, engaging in corruption? And here, guys, okay, what reply you will give to him? He is saying a minority will be ineffective anyway, even if they try to be ethical, because majority of system is unethical. So वहाँ पे आंसर लिखने में don't write your naive psychology, okay, use the understanding here that I will give how minority can influence the majority opinion, okay, and same way, okay, so you need to use these ideas, okay, there in the case study. So application of this idea is very, very important part that I told you we will discuss, okay, in our classes. Okay, so that's basic overview of our entire psychology segment of the syllabus. Now there will be one more lecture where I will discuss administrative ethics part and what we are going to study in our app classes to come. Okay, that, and then soon we'll start start watching my actual content recordings. But before starting this content recording, don't miss this syllabus ka part. Get a overview, okay, get general idea about the syllabus. You will have some framework in your mind that this is what we are going to study ahead in the classes. And so it will be easy for you to organize the entire syllabus in your mind, okay, and study all those topics accordingly. Okay, so I hope you are enjoying these lectures. Whatever doubts, etc. you have, okay, you have my number, okay, with you, 955-2268-658. Okay, you can contact me for any queries. Okay, so thanks for listening, guys, and stay tuned.